Hey there, guys. Another Friday, another Arkonomics. I'm just selling my Leapstones, so don't mind the noise. It is Thursday morning for me, though, instead of Friday, but you'll be seeing this on Friday because I can't sleep. You know how it is sometimes. But we'll take a look. I'm selling some Leapstones here because I think now is a good time as any to sell them at 78. They peaked at 78 average, and they've been going back down a little bit. So I figure, why not? I need the gold for stuff anyways. So I sell. Before we get too deep into the market stuffs, you guys could subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to get to 500 before the end of the year. It's looking very likely that we'll make it, but if we don't, and you guys all decide to unsubscribe because you hate me, I believe it. I'll take it. I'll take my lumps. But in any case, let's get on with the video. Fish. That's a big thing that we talked about last week, and I still think it's worth talking about. It's been slowly going up, mostly stagnated, though. Fish, I think, if you're going to blindly listen to anything from this video, and you're just going to listen to one thing and just buy it because you want to make money, I don't recommend you do that, first of all. But if you want to, I think fish is your best bet. Again, I'm only talking about Northwest American servers, NA West. Obviously, look at your own region if you're not in NA West, because I know NA West market is significantly different from other markets for some reason, but, well, we know why, but you know. If you know, you know. Anyways, I think fish is a good buy, always. The only thing that I hate about fish is the transaction processing thing that supposedly stops bots from flooding the market, but also they're just going to bot it anyways, and it's just going to make it a pain for people like you and I to buy things. But if you get bored and you want to buy fish sometime, I'd recommend it. Obviously, do your own kind of theorizing in your head, because again, this is all just guesswork and following trends and stuff. But the main reason why I say fish is a good investment is because, obviously, if I'm in my stronghold, so if you go over here to the workshop, you can see that I'm already crafting fusion materials. If we accept these, you can see it uses fish. Well, you can craft them with anything, but fish is always going to be the cheapest for us right now because of our good friend, the robots. And with Belshazzar coming out in just about a month now, we're going to be getting a new tier of fusion materials. And in order to make those new tier of fusion materials, what do you need? You need fish. And the big difference between the old fusion materials and the new fusion materials is that the older fusion materials, you can see you would make 30 per batch. For the new Belshazzar fusion materials, you only make 20 per batch, and it costs more resources. So naturally, there's going to be less of them in the market, and they're going to be costing more materials to make. So if you're rushing to upgrade early on, fusion materials, I feel like, are going to be even more insane than they already were. Let's just say. So this is why I say fish is a pretty safe investment, because even if they don't go up, even though I feel like they have to, but even if they don't, you can still craft them into the fusion materials, which then you can sell for your money back at the very least. But yes, okay, that's enough fish talk for this week. We can go over some of the other stuff that I still have tracked here. Redstones, they're still staying about 7. Blues are permanently 1. I still am interested to see if these end up going up when the Belshazzar stuff comes out. There's a lot of them on the market, but I don't know. You never know. Might come out, or might go up, but I wouldn't bank on it. These are just going to continue to kind of fluctuate in price around 9 to 10 gold, I think. The thing with fusion materials is they all have to... How do I want to word this? They can't go beneath a certain point because it costs a certain amount of flat gold to craft them, right? And then the materials cost X amount of gold as well. So materials can never go underneath where it is at least break even, right? I mean, they can, but they won't stay there permanently. And with the new fusion materials coming out, once the old supply of these dry up, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the price rose in tandem with the new fusion materials, you know, like a cost ratio kind of deal. But I don't know, we'd have to see. That's all speculation, and I wouldn't hold fusion materials if you're just making them to sell. I would just use them and sell them as you have been. Honor leaps and great honor leaps, I think now is a good time to sell them, which is why I sold my honor leaps just now. Got a nice little chunk of gold waiting for me. And if you're still farming honor leapstones or hoarding them for whatever reason, I think your time to sell was before they announced the Hyper Express that's coming up with Reaper. Alternatively, the best time to sell is probably now, because I mean, now that they've shown us they're just ready to give us 1445 expresses, like, I just, people are not going to be using these, realistically. Like, yeah, you maybe have the stray player here or there, or maybe an old vet who wants to just juice up a character real quick, but even in that scenario, you don't need that many honor leapstones in the grand scheme of things, so I don't foresee honor leaps staying this high. Great honor leaps, you can make more of an argument for, since you'll need them for both more of a honing period, and you'll need more of them, especially if you get unlucky and you fall under the average. I would for sure get rid of your honor leaps, great honor leaps. I sold mine. I want to do stuff with the gold, so it is what it is. Hard to say if these will keep going up or keep going down, or they'll just hold their price. We don't really know. I also think rate up mats are probably safe to hold, because these honing rate up mats you will use for the Belshazzar gear too. Like, there's still tier 3 honing rate up mats, and there's no new ones, so you will still use these. So if anything, the rate up mats theoretically should go up, right? Because the new mats will be incredibly expensive, hypothetically. So the rate up mats will then be worth more naturally because of the reduction in the amount of average resources you consume per hone, right? So logically, there would have to be some kind of price sort of formulation there between the two, of like the new crystal prices and the rate up mat prices. But again, that's all speculation. And another, I think, safe investment is always going to be shards, honor shard bags, because honor shards are going to be the one thing that is something you can't really farm quickly, especially if you want to hone like a new character. Yes, you get enough shards from like a Hyper Express to get the character up to where the Hyper Express ends, but past that, you're going to start needing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of shards. So say a new Reaper gets to 1445, but they're a career Reaper main, they have over 55,000 hours of Reaper on Korea, and they want to push it up to 1490. Or say later on the road, Summoner comes out with Belshazzar and they want to get it up to like 1550 or whatever. The one thing that they're going to need that entire way up, honor shards. So I've been thinking about throwing some money that I don't need into honor shards just to have them as like a bank. But again, I don't think you can really tell when the price is going to start popping. Obviously it fluctuates reasonably, you know, but at a certain point, these pouches are just going to pop in price. But to say when that is, who knows? Like, if you played the game back in the day, nearer towards launch, you'll remember the first honor shard pouch spike, where purple bags were like 50 gold, and then overnight they were like 250. Like, that sort of thing, I think, is going to happen again. It's just, when is it going to happen? And that is the thing that I think is hard to predict. Another thing that I did want to talk about was meat. Meat is another thing that I think has good potential to spike back up, especially with Belshazzar coming out, because obviously meat, food, feasts, etc. And as far as I'm aware, I have done a lot of hunting in my days. Obviously, level 60 hunting. I haven't seen any bots ever hunting, so I'm not sure if they can't, or they just don't bother doing it, or what. But if bots can't hunt, then it makes this even more lucrative. And then obviously, if you've been around my channel for a bit, you know Leap's essences are best used with the rabbit treasure maps here, that I have some of these. And you can get basically the best bang for your buck with Leap's essences through the rabbit maps. So, again, if they do spike, you could make quite a bit of gold farming out your life skill energy, and obviously just investing in meat. I'm not super confident in it, though. I just kind of hunt a little bit on the side here, and I just hold the meat until I really need gold or it spikes up in price. So that's my kind of strategy with this. I personally wouldn't invest in meat if you're looking purely to make gold, because this is more speculative than anything. Let's see. One of the other things I wanted to look at was consumables, so let's take a look at combat supplies. Let's go to all, perhaps. Nah, we'll do it by section. So, I don't know if you saw this for Clown, but with Clown release, Splendids went up a lot. It stands to reason that Belshazzar may see this similar kind of surge. I mean, all consumables spiked, but Splendids especially. It's something to keep in mind if you're somebody who likes to craft other things in your stronghold other than fusion materials. Just to keep this in mind. And then the same thing with bombs. A lot of people, either they don't have any more boxes or they never had the boxes to begin with, but consumables here as well. The grenades and bombs, they spiked a bit with Clown as well. It's interesting to see. I would just, again, I wouldn't invest into any of these. I would just keep these in mind if you're somebody who likes doing stronghold arbitrage, because there's some gold opportunities here for sure. You just have to be diligent in looking for it. And then obviously time stops here. Time stops has went up a bit here in the last day. Interesting. And then atropines and stimulants you can see the same thing with. Especially stimulants, because these help bards for like pre-pulls. What's it called? Sorks. I couldn't think of the name. Sorks. Instantly fills their igniter gauge. And then atropines are just nice little juicy buffers. Oh, there is one last thing that I do want to talk about, and then I'll let you guys go, because I'm sure you're getting sick of hearing me. This. Skins, skins, skins. People always talk about skins as being some like great investment. And while I don't think they're necessarily a bad investment, I don't think they're the guaranteed gold that everybody tries to make them out to be. Because, take a look here, Omen skin selection. 20k gold average. It has been trending upward, obviously, as it will and should. But if... Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't care. Thank you. But, you can also make the argument that the Omen skins are just not as good. But, I don't know, just because you don't like something doesn't mean everybody doesn't like it, you know what I mean? There's always going to be a market for different cosmetics for different people. So I don't think that's necessarily the greatest argument, especially since it has a base cost in royal crystals, right? I don't know. And you can see that kind of with the Alar skin chest too. Like, the Alar skins are not good. But you can still see they have a base price relative to their royal crystal costs. It's just some of them have much higher margins. Like, you take a look at stuff like these, the wingsuits, the new skins. Obviously, the new skins are always going to be more, and then the boobie skins are going to be the best. If you were going to invest in skins, I would have done it with the boobie skins, but I don't know. And then, obviously, you can always make the argument of the platinum skins, because you can't get them ever again. These are kind of like, it's just like what somebody is willing to pay, really, for the collector's item stuff. It might be a safe investment, because theoretically, it'll only go up over time because you can't get it any other way. But equally so, it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, right? So, I don't know. That's why I don't particularly like big ticket items. I like arbitraging materials, and I like trying to flip mass quantities of trade skill resources. That's usually what I do, other than just farming stuff and selling it. But anyways, that's just some stuff I wanted to talk about and check in on the market, the Arkonomics of the week. Hopefully you guys liked the video and liked the rambling about essentially nothing for what feels like 25 minutes. But I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like if you like, dislike if you like, dislike if you like. No, dislike if you dislike, like if you like. Please, don't hurt me that much. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Gotta get to 500. I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.